Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber KaTribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.
Hello mga katribu! Welcome to another episode of Kalingang KaTribu. I am Ray Sanchez and I'll be your host this afternoon. Our guest for today is a certified life coach and the founder of Work Smart, Love Smart Coaching. Her tagline and her mantra in life is, "In work and in love, there is no need to settle." Please welcome Miss Em Guevara. Hi ma'am!
Hi, Ray.
Hello po.
Good to
How
meet
are
you,
you?
and hello again.
Kamusta
to
naman po?
Okay naman. It's September already. It's been a good start naman to the Burr months for me. Sana sa inyo rin.
So ma'am, what we're going to talk about today is kind of infamous, diba? And I remember when I was in college or in high school, every time someone brings up this topic, as in lahat tutok diba? So there's something talaga to that kind of topic whether it be negative or positive po. So, ma'am, to start off, can I just ask about heartbreak? Since you're a life coach po, what is heartbreak for you?
Hindi naman iba yung definition at alam ko sa heartbreak sa alam ng lahat, no? It's about, getting your heart broken as a result of a romantic relationship that didn't work out. So that's what we're gonna try to be discussing this afternoon and taking questions from the audience from. So I just want to say in general that we definitely don't make light of it. It's a very painful experience for everyone, and it can take us to very dark places. And walang set formula for when you can get over a heartbreak. Although some studies have said that usually it's after 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 3-month rule.
Before one can feel ready to move on. But again, I'm saying for others it may take longer. For others, I don't know, maybe a bit shorter. But we're not about putting a time limit to it. The general thing is that it's really time that's the great healer. But what we want to be imparting this afternoon is that there are concrete steps that you can take to facilitate the process, and hopefully we get to discuss it a lot this afternoon given the time frame. Sorry about the delay, everybody. Technical issues kami kanina.
I'm sure that's fine po. And I'm sure we'll make it up po sa topic natin today. So, ma'am, heartbreak po. Siyempre, the tendency for heartbreak is usually breaking it off with another person, di ba? So, ang question ko lang po is, should you cut off your former significant other?
Should you cut off contact?
Yeah,
with your ex? Po. Okay. The answer to that is yes. You should definitely cut off contact with your ex, especially in the beginning. Isang nakakabit na issue dito is if you can remain friends with your ex, unang-una, you don't need to be friends with your ex. Yung pag sinabi mong it's a sign of maturity to be friends with your ex, not necessarily. What's a real sign of maturity is you taking care of your emotional well-being. And in the beginning of a breakup, when you're hurting, you're vulnerable, diba? And you have to take care of you first. And staying in touch with your ex, or halimbawa, hindi na kayo nag-uusap, but you're still stalking your ex, you're still checking up on his or her social media regularly, or all guilty of that at some point or other. It doesn't help for you to move forward if that's what you really want. Because what that does is, and why we do that is because we want to hang on, if we're honest with ourselves, we want to hang on to the possibility of that relationship still. Diba?
Yeah.
But it doesn't help. So you don't. Yes, eventually you may become friends with your ex. You may remain friends with your ex, but in the beginning, it's best to cut off contact. And also, I want to point out the difference between being friendly and being friends. Okay, what are friends? Friends are people who have the other's best interest at heart. Aminin natin, like when we break up with a person, malamang things have happened, di ba? That put that into question, di ba? Will that person who has probably treated you not so well, I'm sure both of you can come up with a list of what the other person did, what the other person didn't do, kung bakit hindi nag-work out, di ba? So parang hindi naman talaga sa totoo lang kayo maaaring maging totoong friends na in the complete sense of the word, no? But you can remain friendly. What does that mean? Being friendly means you still show respect for the person because you're acknowledging that you did share a love, di ba? You shared love. So, iba yung being friendly and being friends.
Yeah.
Okay, medyo marami akong sinabi, pero yes, the answer to if you should cut off with your contact with your ex is yes, especially in the beginning.
Pero, of course, ano nga po, di ba, significant other, you made memories with them, you shared your time with them, you shared, I guess, almost everything with them. So, it will be hard po, 'di ba? For one. So how can someone let go of that person po? I mean, completely, in a sense.
Okay. Letting go.
Yeah.
Aside from singing the song, how does one let go? Okay, ang tanong dito, what are you letting go of ba? What are you letting go of ba? Most of us, when you look back, di ba, on the relationship, most of us don't actually want back the relationship that you had. Malamang hindi naman masaya yun eh. Hindi na masaya yun, kaya nga kayo nag-break up, di ba? Hindi naman shocker when we reach a point of breakup eh. May build up yun. There were problems. So, what we're actually letting go of is the fantasy of, what we're actually mourning is what could have been, di ba? What it could have been like if things were different, if the person were different, or he or she acted different, or if it were us, diba? So it's that's what makes letting go hard, diba? You're letting go of the dream and of the dreams you built with that person. But we have to remember na even if there were good times, kasi most relationships naman, they start out great, kaya nga nag-start eh, di ba? Otherwise, it wouldn't even have begun, di ba? But the whole of the relationship, let's remember, is what it was from start to finish, di ba? So let's look at it as a whole. And it helps me. And it helps people, no? It helps people in general to, in the processing phase of letting go, to remind ourselves, even to write down the things that we don't like about the person, that made us say no to the person, or the things that happened that hurt us, and the ways we were not treated as we deserve, and all that. Para lang maalala natin na kung bakit kailangan na nating mag-move on. I want to address that part, kung bakit mahirap. Bakit nga ba mahirap? The reason for this is because when we let go of a relationship, may aspect, may element of reduced self-esteem. Ano yun? Yung self-esteem natin, nababawasan kasi, kaya rin mahirap. Parang mahirap sabihin or aminin na, for example, na we made a mistake, or we made a wrong choice, or we allowed abuse, or tayo mismo, we had a role in making the relationship what it was, diba? Malamang, certain things about our personality also, and the way we did things would have contributed to it. So yun yung part na nakakahirap sa letting go. Yung masakit din siya sa pride.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can consider. Na parang ganun eh. Kaya people say I failed, di ba? Pero it's not actually a failure. We can talk more about that maybe later. But for now, I hope I addressed the question of how to let go.
Thank you for those wonderful insights, ma'am. We'll be back for another set of questions for Miss M right after the break.
Bilang bagong mag-asawa, sabay kami natututo sa buhay.
Sabay rin namin inaaral ng mga bayarin sa bahay.
Kahit kami, nagtaka sa biglang laki ng electricity bill namin. Huwag pong mangambang maputulan. Sinisigurado ng Meralco na walang disconnection hanggang September.
Estimated bills lang ang natanggap natin ng March, April At para sa ilan, May. Dahil sa lockdown, isang tabi to para hindi na maguluhan.
Ang May o June ay actual meter reading na. Kung May nagka-actual reading, ibabawas dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran hanggang 3 buwang konsumo.
Kung estimated reading sa May at June nagka-actual reading, ibabawas din dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran. Hanggang 4 na buwang konsumo, walang labis. Tandaan, kung ano lang na konsumo,
Yun lang ang babayaran.
ako po si Mateo G.
At ako naman po si Sarah G.
G?
G!
We're back again. So a while ago we talked about should we cut off contact with our exes and how to let go. And sinabi ni Miss M na we should cut off contact with the ex, and how to let go is simply parang thinking of ways of the negative things that happened in the relationship that caused it to break. So ma'am, after those questions, ang next naman is how do we make peace with the past?
Okay. How do we make peace with the past? So, ang laman ng tanong na yan is, what do we do with the anger that we probably are feeling because of the breakup? Okay. Let's talk about anger a little bit. Anger is healthy and it's natural. It's a good indicator that we are not being treated well, for example. So we're reacting to something that we should be reacting to, and it serves a purpose, diba? It facilitates the separation. Kasi kung hindi ka naman nagalit or napuno, hindi mo naman tatapusin, diba? Ang problema, if we hold on to that anger and that resentment, the mere fact now we're holding on to it, what are we doing? We're taking it with us in the present, and we're taking it with us into the future. So yun ang importance of letting that go, di ba? Parang why should we strive to make peace with our past? And the key to making peace with the past is one thing. It's forgiveness. Forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean, you probably heard this before, it doesn't mean sinasabi mo na hindi nangyari yung nangyari. It doesn't mean you're letting the person off the hook, diba? You're not erasing what was done or the things that were done that were wrong or painful or hurtful. But it's about you not letting the person control your emotions. It's about you regaining emotional freedom. Diba? Para you don't take it with you, diba? You're able to leave that episode, that trauma, that resentment behind, and create a future that's, happy and possibly with someone new. So there's this whole forgiveness is not always easy, and forgiveness means forgiving the other person as well as yourself. Maraming aspeto ang forgiveness, and may mga tawag dyan, process, diba, that you go through. May mga may mga emotional levels yan na minsan umuulit-ulit. Para yung stages of grief, meron ding stages of forgiveness. But for this purpose, yung making peace with the past na purpose, I want to share and propose two ways by which you can forgive the other person. One is by seeing the other person's perspective. Human beings, when we do things, it's usually it's more often than not, it's from a self-beneficial perspective, di ba? Hindi naman, not very many people are out to hurt somebody on purpose or intentionally. It's usually about, taking care of me and ito yung gusto ko di ba? It's not about hurting you. So, pwede mong isipin that way yung nangyari. Another way is by looking at the other person as a whole person. Lahat naman tayo may flaws. Lahat naman tayo, we make mistakes. So, those are two ways by which I can propose you start to forgive your ex. So you can make peace with the past.
So, ma'am, after making peace with the past, there's still going to be a lingering feeling po, di ba, with that person. So, is it valid to still feel love for your ex after making peace with yourself?
So, is it okay to still love your ex? Love is never wrong. Love is never wrong. However, bago ko mag-however. Love is never wrong kasi when you love somebody or when somebody comes into your life and makes you feel loved, that's a gift. It's a gift. However, love is not always enough to make a relationship work. Maaring daming factors that can come into play. Like, example, maaring wrong timing, maaring you're incompatible in values. For example, you broke up because of a cultural thing. Ba? He only wants, or he or she, in the end, chooses to be, dapat kailangan Christian or kailangan Chinese. May maraming kaso ng ganyan. You could have incompatible values when it comes to finances. Diba? Maring, hindi kayo magkasundo sa bagay yun. Maring LDR and nagmamahalan kayo pero neither of you can leave your geographical locations. So see, so many things can happen. But that cause breakups, diba? But you have to, sometimes it comes to the point where you love someone enough to want the best for this person, even if it means not being together. O, diba?
Yeah.
Yeah. Medyo ka-relate ako dyan. So yeah, so it's okay to still love your ex. That's the answer. That's my answer to that.
Thank you for that, ma'am. We'll be back for another break.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
Bakit kailangan ko pang pumunta sa bangko?
Oo nga naman, sir. Ba't kailangan pang pumunta sa bangko?
Why not get a UB app so you can do all these without going to the bank? Bank the way you live. Union Bank.
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
Welcome back, everyone. We're down to our final questions for Miss M before we move on to answering questions from our audiences. So, ma'am, let's talk about the concept of totga right now, the one that got away. That's very in right now with millennials as well. What is that all about po? Totga.
The one that got away.
Yeah.
Okay, what I want to say about totga is it's synonymous to putting your ex and your relationship, whatever it was, you call it, with that person on a pedestal.
Sasend nyo na lang din po.
And what that affects, ang resulta nun is it keeps you stuck.
Mhm.
It keeps you stuck and unable to give your focus and appreciation for what you may have at the moment or for what you can have in the future. The truth is, hindi siya TO. He's not the one. Because he or she is not around. He didn't stick around. You didn't stick around, diba? So, it's our way of holding on to the past. And we already spoke a little bit about like why it's important to make peace with your past. And it's part of that. So, there. That's what I can say about Totgas.
But on the concept of heartbreak po ulit, since syempre heartbreak is usually parang coincided with pain, something painful po, 'di ba? But can it be a good thing as well po? Is there a possibility na it benefits us as well?
Yes. Definitely, it can be a good thing. Why? Because it helps us, if we process it and we allow it to teach us things about life and about ourselves, it helps us develop resilience. Para siyang, when I talk about resilience, I always think about plants na daanan ng unos. But kahit nabawasan na sila ng branches or naputulan ng nalagasan ng maraming dahon, di ba? After, if they weather that storm, they can grow even better, even stronger after the storm, di ba? So, same with human beings, di ba? And if you develop your resilience, you're also developing your strength. So, I want to talk about a few more things about what it means to learn from heartbreaks. What we should be after is that it teaches us about ourselves and what we need to be happy, diba? What we need to be happy. Halimbawa, na-realize mo, kailangan mo talaga yung a certain amount of communication. For example, that was your main thing with your ex, diba? Hindi nag-communicate. Or you really decide once and for all, you cannot take disloyalty, diba? Maybe the person was cheating on you and, diba? Parang, it helps us, like establish standards. It teaches us what we need to be happy. And another way to learn from the experience is to acknowledge our role in it. Madalas tayo, parang we're always blaming everything on the other party. The thing is, when two people are in relationship, you create a dynamic. And whatever happens in that relationship is a result of that dynamic, diba? So let's not get stuck in the blaming mode. Let's acknowledge our role in what happened. Because when we do that, we put ourselves in the position of doing something different next time. Diba? Halimbawa, tayo pala yung, diba, our role could have been we were too controlling, we were too selosa, we were too, to be the problem. Mga na-coach ko, for example. we could have been too clingy, too needy. We drove the other person away. Mga bagay na yun, di ba? Pag pre-process mo yun and inintindi mo, it puts you in a position to do something different the next time and to create an amazing relationship or a more amazing one the next time around. So definitely, we can make heartbreaks work for us. It can be a good thing.
Thank you for
Okay.
those, Miss M. We'll
Yeah.
be back after a short break, but before that, we encourage our netizens or our audiences to comment below their questions. Then I'll be reading it right after the break. Hello again, everyone. This time around, I'll be relaying to Miss M the questions that you commented below on this video. So for our first question, we have Luisa of Makati. She asked, "At what point did you realize you no longer have the same feelings for your ex?"
Tinatanong mo ako?
So maybe her question is parang, how can you tell that you don't have feelings for your significant other anymore? Siguro po ganun yung question niya.
I have to ask you that back, Luisa, diba? If you're in touch with your feelings, then you should know. Pero yun na nga, it's not just about you. It's a partnership. So both of your feelings have to be more or less on the same page. Your vision for the relationship has to be, compatible. So, ayun, kung di mo hindi lang siya feelings, diba? Like we said, but there has to be feelings involved. It's a combination of whether your reasons for being in a relationship are being met, and also if you really love the person, diba? So, ikaw lang makasagot na, Luisa. Ikaw lang.
Okay, Gian from Manila asks, enough ba ang happiness at love na natanggap mo nung okay pa kayo ng ex-girlfriend or boyfriend mo sa sakit na nararamdaman mo ngayon?
Okay. Okay. Like I said, di ba, love is never wrong. So, yung natanggap mo na love at binigay mo, huwag mo nang pagsisiyan yun. But like I said again, I just want to repeat it, it's not always enough to make a relationship work. So, ganun lang yun. Ang buhay kasi, it's always a paradox of good and bad, dark and light. Kung wala yung isa, wala rin namang say-say yung isa eh. May pleasure ba if we don't know pain? Hindi mo rin alam yung pleasure kung hindi mo alam yung pain, di ba? So, madaling pag-usapan, pero I'm not making light again of the emotions that we feel pagka heartbroken tayo. It can be very, very crushing. It's para siyang yung tao nagde-drugs na pagka nawala yung source of high, kakaroon ng withdrawal symptoms. ano siya talaga, parusa siya. but like I said, di ba, may mga paraan to help you get over, the very dark and low periods, di ba? And you should just do your best to weather it out and to help yourself in the meantime. Kasi lahat naman ng bagay, na pagdadaanan natin.
Okay, so another question is from Ren. Is there really such a thing as a mending heart?
Oh, kasabi ko lang. parang, hindi mang, kahit naman tagpi-tagpi na yung puso mo, magana pa rin yan. So, think of it like a vase na nabasag pero pinagtagpi-tagpi mo ulit. It can still be a work of art. It can still hold flowers. It can still hold whatever you put in there, as long as you do what you can to strengthen it again and to to process and to learn, to let it teach you what it came into your life to teach you.
So, Elmer asks naman po, totoo ba ang mga what if? What if?
Elmer, what if? Totoo ba? Ang sabi ko sa mga what if is, parang ano yan eh, if not now, then when? So, kung meron kang mga what if, at posible pa naman, I encourage you to drum up the courage to do what it takes to find out kung may pag-asa nga ba. Parang yun yung tanong mo eh, di ba? Like, what if? Or if it's about the one that got away, I already spoke about that. Di ba? It just keeps you stuck. It's parang subconsciously an excuse for you to not move on and not move forward and not appreciate what you have in the present or what you can have in the future.
David asked naman po, totoo ba ang quarantine or lockdown love? Very timely po. Quarantine or lockdown love?
Totoo. If you're asking me if it's possible, I believe it is. I believe it is because love naman can be built and can grow at any time. Ngayong quarantine at lockdown, may mga kahit naman quarantine at lockdown, may mga paraan pa rin for us to get to know other people. It can even bring people closer because we're in the midst of something very difficult and challenging, and that can bond people. That can really form, connections na posibleng malalim. At dahil natitis tayo, we can't always see, people we're dating, for example, right away. Then it can make for stronger bonds, actually. So if it's possible, I would say yes.
John asks naman po, do you consider it a heartbreak if hindi ka crush ng crush mo?
It's di ba na heartbreak? Iba na level siguro ng heartbreak. So yeah, it can be sad, it can be annoying, it can be hindi naman siguro malalim yan na heartbreak. Kung hindi ka pa, kung crush lang naman, di ba? So, may mga pwede ka pang gawin para maging crush ka nung crush mo, for example. Diba? So, wala pa namang roots. Wala pa kayong history. So, huwag mo masyado dibdibin.
Okay pa. Take note, everyone. Okay, next po. From Miguel, are soulmates real po?
Hala. Ang alam ko dyan, yes, pero marami tayong soulmates. Marami tayong soulmates in so many levels. Our best friend is our soulmate. Um, our even our families are soulmates. So soulmates are souls. We believe that you have a soul and you're not just a physical being, diba? These are souls that come to this earth to that have the connections that go all the way back. And yeah, I believe that we can have a lot of soulmates. So hindi ako naniniwala na isa lang siya.
Someone asked naman po regarding ghosting po and yung concept po ng ghosting. What can you say about that?
We talked about this in an earlier FB Live. I think when we talked about what women wanted in dating and relationships. So definitely a no. I would like to remind everybody na the respectful thing to do is to communicate, and we human beings have the facility. We have may mga bibig tayo at may mga boses at lalamunan tayo to talk. Let's not be disrespectful and cause unnecessary hurt by leading people on. Yun, I definitely don't subscribe to ghosting. When I say, for example, na balik natin doon sa unang question, like, should you stay in contact with your ex? Kung halimbawa, gusto pa niya ng communication, let's still be friends, ganyan. The nice and humane thing to do is to communicate. Don't ghost the person, diba? Don't just leave. You can respectfully, politely tell the person na I need my space, diba? I need my space so that I can, move on properly and recover, diba? So, yeah, no to ghosting.
Okay,
No.
take note of that, everyone. Thank you for
Just
submitting
no.
in your questions. Thank you, Miss M, for answering everyone's questions. But before we end the show, would you like to say something to everyone po? Just a simple message to everyone.
Well, yeah, I do have a webinar coming up on this topic, dealing with heartbreak. It's an hour and a half long on October 15. That's a Thursday. And I have other Love Smart and Work Smart webinars lined up from mid-September to mid-December. So if you want to get wind of the schedule, please follow me on my Instagram page at Work Smart Love Smart. You can add me on Facebook. My Facebook page is Life Coach Em Guevara. If you want to be invited to my Facebook group, send me a message. It's also called Life Coach Em Guevara, my Facebook group. Yeah, that's it. And I also want to thank Daily Tribune for having me for this first series of 4 Facebook Lives with you. I understand we have another one coming up in October. So I'll be back for more Love Smart and Work Smart topics. I hope you can watch out for that.
We definitely enjoyed your guestings po for us, ma'am. Thank you very much. So everyone, that is it. I'm with Miss M. Guevara. This is Ray Sanchez, and thank you for tuning in to Kalingang KaTribu.
Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber KaTribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
Bakit kailangan ko pang pumunta sa bangko?
Kung nga naman, sir, ba't kailangan pang pumunta sa bangko?
Why not get a UB app so you can do all these without going to the bank? Bank the way you live. Union Bank.